Yeah, it just felt like okay, here's the thing. So I obviously because of the internet and I think you showed me like 10 minutes of an episode and also just things.
No, I don't spoil stuff.
No.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the second half of our Mandalorian season one rewatch cast. This is we've had some scheduling stuff. Not that you noticed because these two episodes go up within the same week.
Mhm.
But for
Mhm.
us, it's been about a month since we've watched the back half of this episode, this season. And not that that affects our judgment, but we might be a little slow at remembering some of the finer details. Oh,
Never.
so yeah, let's do what we always do and ask Will, since this is his first time watching the show, how does the second half compare to the first half?
I liked the second half a little bit better than the first half.
Okay.
There were a couple. Remember there was no.
There's
No, it
two
was
bad
fine.
episodes.
Yeah. I thought there was an episode I didn't really like, but there wasn't. It just was just my memory. But
No, I'm sure you're remembering it correctly.
maybe.
There is an episode this in the section that's not like, well, I don't know. Then I might be biased because I've rewatched season one a few times,
Mm-mm.
and that's always kind of the one that I usually skip or yeah.
Gotcha. I honestly, I think it was this first one that came back. Like
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll get into it, but I definitely liked it a lot more because I liked the one with the village and gosh, whatever her name is, the like other mercenary person that he works with
Oh
there,
yeah.
the town, but um it just felt like a massive like filler episode, where it's just like
Hmm.
we're gonna maybe introduce a love interest to the Mandalorian and also make it feel sad when he has to take um the child to like away from the other kids and stuff like that. It's like I get what they were doing, but it also just kind of felt unnecessary.
Yeah.
And like this stretch was very much like this thing happens, which leads to this thing, which leads to this thing, which leads to like it felt better storytelling than
Hmm.
the first four.
So let's just kind of do the rundown like we usually do. So we started with chapter 5, the gunslinger. So this is the episode you were saying it was kind of like a filler.
Yeah, it just felt like okay, here's the thing. So I obviously because of the internet and I think you showed me like 10 minutes of an episode and also just things.
No, I don't spoil stuff.
No. I I know who Fennec.
Fennec Shan, yeah.
I know I know that like she's a bigger character than what they do with her in this episode.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like it didn't it didn't do anything for me. Like
No.
she's fine. I don't have any problem with her character. And like the other guy that he's working with is fine too. The
Yeah,
like
I don't.
younger guy, it's
Not
fine.
a not a fan of that guy, but yeah.
But it's like it just really doesn't do anything for me.
No. No, I mean, so honestly, what you see in this episode is that he goes to Tatooine.
Right.
So that's like, you can't have a Star Wars show that's not in Tatooine.
Right, 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 right.
Um, the mechanic lady, she's great. I
She's
believe,
fantastic. So this is a really, really funny thing. And so I listened to this podcast called Smartless, which has Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, and what the heck is the other guy's name? Wow, whatever. I can't think of the guy's name. Chris Hayes, I think is his name.
oh yeah, yeah.
And he they had Amy Sedaris on because she's an old comedian
Mm-hmm.
from remember ever watch Strangers with Candy? Or
Yeah, yes, yes. Oh my God.
yes. So
Yes, unfortunately. I have seen
yes,
Strangers
yes.
with Candy and I have not thought about that show in oh man.
So that's that they had her on and she was talking and I didn't know anything like at all. And then all of a sudden she was talking about the Mandalorian and I was like, "What? What do
Mm,
you mean?"
yeah.
And she was talking about it and then she was talking about how fun it was to film things and do things and blah blah blah. And I was just like, "She's in the Mandalorian?" I was, what a random what a super random thing for this kind of like off the wall actor to be on.
Yeah.
And then you get to the episode and she's silly, but like she's great. And
Mhm.
it was really, really, really funny to see her in here.
Yeah, I believe that she is a mechanic on Tatooine.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, she's
It
she's great in this episode.
it's super surprising, like over the next few episodes, like how many people like celebrities are in the stretch. There's
This
so
section, yeah.
many of them. Because like here's
Yeah.
Amy Sedaris, and then like Fennec Strand is like is Ming Na Wen, which is
Yeah, she's pretty
um
big.
she's in Agents of Shield, but she most famously voices Mulan. So it's
Yeah.
like it's crazy.
Yeah. And then you get freaking Bill Burr of all
Bill
people.
Burr,
Yeah.
you get what's his name when we get to that episode, but there's a couple of the other guys on the ship are big guys too. So
Yeah. And what's his name? I always forget his actual name, but Gus, the guy who played Gus Fring, I mean, he's huge.
oh right, right, yeah, 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 right.
Carlos Esposito? No,
That maybe.
almost, yeah. And then one of the bike troopers is the guy who plays Ted Lasso.
Yeah, yes. And the other guy
Is
is the like faux sheriff character from the Sonic movies. You know what I'm talking about?
oh yes, the stupid
The
guy there.
stupid
Yeah,
guy. Yeah, he was like in the
yeah, that's
Knuckles TV
uh,
show or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're perfect for bike troopers, aren't they?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll
I
we'll get to
immediately
that.
knew
I
it was
that
Jason Sudeikis. I
yes,
immediately
yeah. He has a pretty recognizable voice. Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, so this episode, The Gunslinger, it's basically just Mando looking for work on Tatooine and getting the ship repaired, and then
Right.
takes on this side job from this bounty hunter who's not ever done any bounty hunting jobs before, and he's
Right,
going
right,
after
right.
this like Finnick Shand is like a mercenary from the Hutt clan,
Right.
so she's a pretty, Now, here's the thing too, because the time period, you already know that like Book of Boba Fett is a thing.
Right, right, right.
But when this season, that episode ended, the internet was just a blaze of like speculation and fan speculation. So the
Oh.
episode ends and these you see these boots in the sand walk up to Finnick Shand, and
Oh yes.
they play this spur sound effect on his boots when he walks up, and that's very famously they played that same sound effect for like Boba Fett when he was walking on the Death Star.
Okay.
So the internet was just like, just a blaze of like, that's Boba Fett. Are they doing Boba Fett? Are they bringing Boba Fett back? It was this whole thing.
Got it.
Obviously they did, but in this time period, it was
Yeah, I
like,
got you.
man, no way they're doing that. Yeah.
Huh.
So that's pretty cool.
That's just pretty cool.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to think what else happens in this episode that's like worth talking about. You still get to see Mando his hate for droids, even the pip droids
Oh,
from
yeah. From episode one. Yeah, that was
yeah,
funny.
yeah, the good old pip droid. You gotta bonk him on the nose.
Yeah, like hit him in that like
Mhm.
eye piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. I liked the whole part where they're up on the ridge and she's shooting at
Mhm.
them and Mandalorian is trying to like figure things out and
I like
all
how
the
he takes that shot in the plate, but
oh
they're
yes.
they're telling you like that rifle that she's got is like such a powerful rifle that like at close range it would shoot through his Beskar.
Right.
I thought that
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
Yeah. I agree.
We get to see the Dugons again.
Oh
Dewback,
yes.
Dewback,
Dewbacks, I think they're called. Yeah, I don't
Dewbacks.
remember.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, they were
This
cool.
is this is also the episode where I think in Tatooine when he walks in, you see all the stormtrooper helmets on spikes.
Yes. Yes.
That was pretty cool.
That was very cool. Yes.
I like cinematography like that where it's like, yeah, the Empire is gone basically. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
oh,
like
yeah,
that.
like everything is. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty
Also, he
cool.
like talks to the Tusken Raiders. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. That's great.
That was
Yeah, that's
great.
great.
When he
You
like
kind of you kind
explained,
of get to see a different side
yeah,
of the Tusken Raiders. Yeah,
yeah.
he's like, yeah, the whole planet belonged to them. Like they think they're the natives.
R- right.
And he like barters with them to like have like passage across the desert. Yeah, it's great. It's really
It's
cool.
super good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Then that guy betrays him, obviously,
Yeah.
because why wouldn't he?
I like I read
It is.
online when he goes in there to talk to when he goes into the cantina that
Yeah. Oh, the droid.
the droid is like apparently voiced by Mark Hamill.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
That's
like
cool.
he voiced it back when they did filming for the original trilogy, and
Hmm.
so they're just using his like voice stuff again, or if he returned to do
Oh,
this voice. I don't
oh,
know.
you mean like in episode four,
Yeah, when
he
right. Or at probably
inter
five, I think is when he's getting the medical attention or something like that. But
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
they're like med droids, I think. They're like, I don't know, they're called something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's a good catch.
Yeah.
There's another voice actor that we'll get to in the next episode that it's a pretty cool callback. I don't know. I'm interested
Oh
if you
yeah.
caught onto it.
Okay.
It's also cool seeing the cantina there, like how different
Yes.
it is, right?
Yes.
It's like not a place of
Very cool.
vile and villainy.
No, it was cool.
It's just kind of empty.
I just like it was for me, it was like I really liked the Amy Sedaris character, like Pele or whatever her name was.
Pele, yeah,
Like,
Pele.
like she was super funny and interesting and like really super believable and like I could cause like knowing what she said in the podcast and then matching it up with seeing the episode,
Mm.
she was just like they told her certain things about what they wanted her to do, and then she would just like ad lib. So she would
Yeah.
walk over to something on the set and would just like touch it or like open it or like pick something up. and it wasn't necessarily stuff that they were like, "Oh, we'll do this now." They just told her to like, "This is your space,"
Mm.
and like, you know, do like act like you know all of this stuff. And she's like,
That's cool.
and she was saying in the podcast, she barely knows what Star Wars is. Like she understands what Star Wars is, but like she doesn't
Yeah.
know anything.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it was really funny to watch her walk over to the Mandalorian ship and like look at things and then like touch it, and she's like,
Yeah.
"This is terrible. This is garbage," and then would say whatever to him, and
Like,
that was
oh
like,
yeah, it looks like you took a couple shots from a high end
yeah,
cannon too. Interesting. Yeah, yeah. Your dampening plating's all
right,
that's
right,
great.
right, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty good. I like the scene too when she's in there playing cards with the robots not working on the
Oh,
ship at all.
yes, yes.
And then like the door opens and you hear this like horrible noise coming from inside the ship.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And doesn't she have a Jawa blaster in this scene, or is that
I think so.
it's got that
No,
big
maybe it's
barrel? No, maybe
maybe
not.
when they come back, but yeah.
And then grow I can't use his name, the child, because this is season one. So the child comes
Right.
like walking down the gangway. It's just such a funny, like
Yes.
such a funny scene.
Super funny.
Yeah. Even the other funny thing about the child in this episode is like at the end of the episode when they're having that shootout in there
Hmm.
with the bounty hunter, he like shoots him and he just goes like and, like throws the kid
Yeah.
and he just tumbles into the
Yeah.
sand. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty great. Yeah, it's pretty good. And then doesn't this episode end when they're in the ship? He gives him the handle thing.
I
He
think
takes off the
so.
handle thing.
I think so.
Yeah, I
It's
think
one-
so.
it's one of the new, yeah.
Yeah. But isn't the music and stuff in the show so good? Like
It is very good. Yes.
just that sting. I can hear it like in my brain, like when they're in the ship flying away and you can hear that like subtle, like almost like kind of like flute thing playing in the back. It's great.
Yes.
It's really good. Really good. Um, yeah. So then chapter 6 is the prisoner. Now,
Chapter 6.
this is the episode I'm talking about. This is the episode that like I won't go back and watch. I've seen it
Okay.
enough. I've seen it enough
Gotcha.
times. And it again it doesn't do anything for me.
Gotcha.
It's
Yeah.
setting up like these old guys that Mando used to run with, but it doesn't matter moving forward because
No.
like just the way it ends and it's basically just saying like he's really desperate for work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you.
It's just
I, yeah. I agree that like it's another episode that doesn't really do too much for anything.
yeah.
But the only thing was for me is I enjoyed a lot basically like when he's going through the whole thing and it's like and they're slowly like gonna find out that the child is on the ship and they're like going through a
Hmm.
ship and stuff and it's like that tension is building and
Yeah.
then when they get onto the prisoner ship and they're going through and doing things and then they inevitably like betray him
Yeah.
when they lock him in the cell to like when he's leaving the ship
It's
even
great.
when he gets back to um wherever the spaceport or
Oh,
whatever
the base or whatever it is.
um I really enjoy how like he individually like fought each of them.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I enjoy that. I enjoy that a lot. I like this episode. When I first saw this episode, I thought it was great. I don't know if it's just because like I've seen it too many times, but it also is just an episode where it doesn't progress like the story.
Sure, yeah.
But it is a pretty good like standalone episode. It's cool getting to see like the rebellion prison
Yes.
ships and
Yeah.
like not Empire stuff. It's all like uh the rebellion stuff.
Yeah, like
The
wasn't.
Republic. What is it called now? I can't remember what they're called now.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like
Because they're not rebels anymore. There's nothing to rebel
no,
against.
it's like the something Republic. Yeah,
Yeah, they went back to the,
New Republic. New
the New
Republic.
Republic. That's it. Yeah. So it's pretty cool getting to see that like ship and that kind of stuff. And um yeah, the other guy, the guy that actually gives Mando the job is like, he was a big actor from like Sons of Anarchy and
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah, he's been in some stuff.
Yeah, he when I know what I knew him from was he's the guy. He's the
Oh, and
guy.
Batman Begins.
Yes. Swear to
Well, I
me.
swear to me.
And he
What
drops
they
it.
don't well they hey buddy, my kids I got kids to
I got some
feed.
kids,
Well,
yeah.
they don't like falafels.
¿Dónde están los drugs?
Those dragas. Where were the other drugs?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was like, hey, it's
Yes.
that guy.
Yes. Yeah. So he was, yeah. So yeah, he's great in that movie, but he was like
Which
a
makes
main
sense.
biker guy in Sons
Yeah,
of Anarchy.
because he plays a really kind of like rough and tough kind of like
Yeah.
nasty guy. Yeah.
I think in Sons, if I'm not mistaken, he's kind of like the rough guy on the outside, but he's like kind of like a, you know,
Pushover.
sweet soul. Yeah. Big teddy bear. Um, yeah, and as far as everybody else in this episode, I can't remember other than Bill Burr.
Well, Clancy Brown, who plays, which I didn't have any idea. When he first talked, I was like, wait a minute. But
The
then when they
big
put
dude.
the big dude, when they put his face on camera, I was like, dude, that's Mr. Krabs. It's
Oh,
the
is
guy
it
who
really?
it's the guy who voices
Wow.
Mr. Krabs. Yeah. He's in tons of stuff, but
I
yeah,
know,
Clancy.
yeah, he was in Star Trek and everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he was that tall. Did they like enhance they must have used like a double or something. Is he a tall dude like that? This
He's
dude's
kind of big
huge.
from what I understand. I'm sure he's in like lift shoes or anything like that, but like he's generally that big. Like he's not a short guy.
He's a cool alien species in
Yeah,
this.
he's isn't he the devil guys that are like in four, like in the cantina?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like his
super cool.
interaction when he first meets Mando and he's like, "Oh, he's pretty small from the stories I heard about Mandalorians, you know."
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I feel like live action Twi'leks are always bad, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's a
Yeah.
funny opinion because the first time you ever see one is in live action.
I think she just gets eaten, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. She's okay in this episode.
Oh yeah. She's
It's
fine.
weird
I
that
don't
they're
have a
like
problem.
saying that they've had like kind of a past relationship kind of
Yes,
thing,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And even she hasn't seen his face. I like that scene too where they try to take his helmet off. It's
Yes,
pretty
yes. Let me see it.
Yeah. And Bill Burr is just Bill Burr. He's
Yes, yes,
just
he is. Very much so. Very,
I
very
like
much.
I like he's got the double like automated guns on the shoulder. That's kind
Yep.
of cool.
Yep. That was cool. The robot guy is the guy from that
Mm.
British show.
Yes. Yes.
I forget what it's called, but
Curious.
what the heck is that show called? Yeah, I can't think of it, but yeah.
Curiouser and Curiouser. Yeah, he's pretty good.
It's like IQ or not IQ, IT
I
or whatever.
I know the guy you're talking about. Yeah, I can't think of it. What's his name? Zero? Zero in this? Zero? No.
Maybe. Yeah, it's something like that. I
I'm
don't
thinking of
remember.
I'm thinking of Zero in Andor. That's like that.
Oh. Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. It might be Zero though, honestly, because he's a droid. So
let's see. It says that his name is Zero. Yep, you're right, Zero.
Nice. Got it.
Yes.
Because the other guy, the guy from Mando is not Zero, it's Zero with a C.
Yeah.
And then they go to prison and they meet Andy Serkis.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of that, like, isn't okay. So, so
Mhm.
correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't look it up, so I don't
Yeah.
know. When they're on the prison ship and they're
Hmm.
walking around and they shoot a couple of the droids
Yeah.
and they're going through, and I forget exactly the scene, but basically there's other like the prisoners can
Hmm.
see them in the thing, and a hand comes out of one of the doors, and it's like says something like, "I want the key," or like, "Let me like what's going on out there." I don't remember what they say, but
Yeah.
okay. Is that are we supposed to believe maybe he's dead though? Now that I'm thinking about it. But he made me think that he was like the ape alien from Solo. Like
Oh.
his voice was almost identical to that like little short guy that is in the Solo movie, who's like an alien monkey kind of guy.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that.
But like when he reaches his hand out, he talks and it sounds like that character's voice.
It might be a nod to that. I'm not sure.
Because I was like, oh, but then I was like, doesn't I was just thinking like, doesn't he
This is
die in
way
Solo?
this is way after too, so
Right.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that guy in Solo. I don't remember much of Solo, if I'm being honest with you.
I'm gonna show you his
Other than Woody Harrelson's bad and Darth Maul is controlling things at the end and it doesn't do anything for any Star Trek story moving forward. That's all I remember from Solo.
The
Chewie's great.
heist is like the only thing I remember besides Darth Maul.
Yeah, I don't even remember that. The only heist that stands out to me now is Andor.
Yeah, they're like on the train and they're trying to stop they're trying to get stuff
Mm,
off the train
in the snow.
in the snow. Yep.
Yeah, okay. And they put the guy's arm out and it freezes off. And that's how they
That sounds good. That
no,
sounds
that's
really
that's
good.
yeah, it's Captain America. He's trying to get to the front of the train
And he yells out Chewbacca. Yeah.
or the high society. Wow, that's really funny. I just thought about that. So I was referencing the movie Snowpiercer,
Yeah,
but then I was thinking that Captain America was also on a train, and
he
that's when he
is.
lost Bucky in the snow.
Yeah,
So
that's why I was yeah, that's why I was laughing
it's the same movie, just over and over.
over and over and over again. I'm never gonna find this stupid guy's
I know
name.
why you remember him specifically because if you're describing him correctly, he's a short, weird, crazy
Yeah.
little alien guy. Yeah,
Yes.
like your favorite thing ever.
Yes, he was.
That's why in Rogue One, your favorite alien is like that little short guy with the big ears, and he's just like, yeah,
Love him.
yeah, he's great.
I love him so much. Yeah. I haven't thought about that guy in a
Yeah,
minute.
you love
Yeah.
him. Yeah. Oh, you mean Billy Botswana? Yeah, yeah, he's great.
He's great.
Biff Fortuna? Yeah, my favorite. No, not Biff Fortuna.
I know what you're talking about.
Spacious Crumb. Yeah, Crumb. The little.
I hate Biff Fortuna.
Yeah, yeah, I hate him too. Hopefully, we never see him again.
No, we'll never see him again. Oh my God, I'm never gonna stop looking for him, so it's fine.
Good. So I'll tell you. So in the
Yeah.
scene where they go into the control room, and there's the one
Yeah, the one like New Republic officer.
New Republic officer. Do you know who that guy is?
I don't think so. I think I thought I would know who he is, but I don't
Hmm.
think I knew who it was.
So that's the guy that voices Anakin Skywalker in
Oh, is it really
in the Clone Wars. Yep.
in the Clone Wars? That's
Yeah.
funny.
It's pretty great.
That's really funny. Because oh, okay, here's the like really mind blower for you. When they showed him, I was like, "Hey, is that the like?" And I kept looking at him, and I was like, "Is that like the dumb sheriff character from the Sonic movies?" And I was like, "No, no, it doesn't
No,
look like him at all."
they
And
wouldn't
then
put
like
him in.
later when it
Oh,
happens, and he starts
hey, is
talking, I
that
was
the
like,
du-
and I was like, "It can't be. There's no
No.
way. Like that guy actually is in the show." And then I was like, I looked at
And
the
then
credits, and I was like, "Idiot, stupid, I hate the show."
and then legitimately the next episode you're like, "Hey, is that the dumb sheriff guy from Sonic?"
Right. Yeah,
That's that's really funny. Yeah, it's super cool. It's super cool that he got to be
found
in
him.
the live action stuff.
I found him.
Isn't it funny that like in my brain, um, like Hayden Christensen and that guy together are like my interpretation of like Anakin, like mixed together.
That is funny.
It's like Hayden Christensen with his voice, basically.
Yes.
Because
Yeah,
I
okay.
love him in Clone Wars. Like Anakin's great in Clone Wars.
Yeah, he dies in Solo, but
Okay, good. But it could have been one of oh yeah, okay. Now I
this
remember.
little hand comes out of one of the cells, and it's like,
Uh-huh.
and he talks, and I was like, that sounds like it sounds like him,
I mean, that could be a callback, like, just that alien species is probably the only time you've ever seen it was in Solo. So,
probably.
and he's definitely would be in prison.
Yeah, he's apparently voiced by John Favreau, so
Any any character that's like a side character that needs somebody to step in, it's always John Favreau.
but yeah.
But like,
Anyways, the whole I really enjoyed the part where like the is it like the ship's on like lockdown or something. It's like flashing,
oh,
and he's like coming down the thing.
yeah, and he's like,
Mandalorian is like
it's
moving
great.
down
Yeah,
the
it's really
ship.
great.
That's great. Um, it's so brutal when he's in the control room or whatever,
Oh,
like the main security room, and then the door. He's fighting that big guy, and the big guy's just whipping him across the room, and then
yeah,
finally he like shuts the door, and he's like holding it, and he's like, "Stupid, you're so stupid," or whatever, and then he shuts like the side
yeah.
door so they can just,
The interior.
oh
Yeah,
man, and I was just like, the mess that would make, just oh
yeah. I know, and up to this point, they're implying that like, yeah, he's just murdering these people. He's
yeah,
done. I forget how
and then
she tries to like go knife to knife with him, and it's like, it's not gonna work.
she throws like knives at him, and he blocks a couple, and then like, and then he just, I think he. I don't remember exactly what he does, but he gets her.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know if he ropes her up. That's how he starts with the big guy. He tries to like grapple him through the ceiling,
Yes, yes,
and he just rips him through the ceiling. It's just like,
yes.
oh man. Yeah,
It's
right. Because the whole reason they're there, right, is to free her brother.
her brother, right? Yeah,
So they free her brother, and then they throw Mando in his cell.
yep,
And so he waits for like one of those droids to come over, grapples his like arm through the thing with the key on it. So that was
yeah.
cool.
Zan is preoccupied. So Zero is looking for the child, and then
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's playing
And
like
then
peekaboo in the ship.
yeah, they fight. She fights him with several knives, but he manages to grab and subdue her. And then a mouse droid spooks Mayfield, Bill Burr's character, and
Oh yeah.
the
Mayfield.
Mandalorian just like shows up like behind him. And he's like, and he goes, "No," remember, like he knows that he's
Yes.
gonna get.
Every
Yeah.
time that the light comes on, you see Mando closer. It's like
Yes.
he's the serial
Yeah.
killer. Yeah, it's
That was
great.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like
Yeah.
they do a really cool thing where the light comes on, he's like way off in the background, and then the
Yeah.
light goes off, it comes back on, and he's not there at all.
No.
Just
Yeah.
gone, and then the light goes off and comes back on, and now he's like much closer, kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
it's great. It's really
That's
good. Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
That's really good. And then so the other part that like I love is when Zero finds the child in his little like
Yes.
cabinet bed
Okay.
area.
Yeah.
He's Zero is gonna shoot him, and the child like closes his eyes and he's like, and then he gets like
Yeah.
blasted like through his chest, and he like stares at his hand because he's like, that's not what I was trying to do. And then you see the Mandos behind him. It's great. That's such a great
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah. Yes, I do remember that. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. Like the puppeteers and the control guys for the child are so
Oh,
to
great. I mean, it's
to coordinate that. It gives him character, it gives him life. It's like he has these funny quirks, you know.
yes.
Um I think in the last episode too, the Carter does the like give it the do the magic hand thing, and he's like,
Oh,
yeah.
he
It's like
waves.
it's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But like they're great at like giving him like I
Yes.
believe that that's a real thing, you know? It's
Absolutely. It
crazy. It's
totally
crazy.
feels like it's like a person in a suit. It really honestly
Yeah, it
does.
does. It's nuts. I forget exactly how much they spent on that thing, but it's like millions and millions of dollars they spent on.
But I mean, the reality is they've made billions of dollars
Oh,
off of it. So it's
they've
like
made
it's well
billions off of me. My whole
it's
house is the child. Everything in my
filled with
house.
it. That's true. It's true.
I remember so Adri was making Sims, and she was making my
Oh,
house,
yes.
and they did that expansion Star Wars thing, so she put
Yes.
like the child statues in like every room,
Yes.
and you're like, that's not this that's over the top, you know. And then you
Yeah, and I
came over
hadn't been
like,
over to
oh
the house since you
yeah.
had put up like the vinyl sticker and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. You came over like a week later, and you were just like, it's like every room of the house. I just have like
Yeah, you
the
did.
child stuff.
I
We
think it was
collect those
like
little like pop toys. We have those little pop toys all over the place. Yeah.
I think you guys had like just moved in and it was a couple weeks after and like you had or something. I don't remember. But yes, I remember that Adri had recently gone over and then she was putting all these things out. She was making like your office and then like the before it was the game room, like your workbench like downstairs.
Yeah.
And she was just putting things everywhere. And I was like it's not come on. Like
Yeah.
he likes Star Wars, but he doesn't like it that much, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's pretty good. No, we were talking about like when I think after season one, Hot Toys was like, hey, so we're making a full size
Yeah.
child. And we were like, we should probably get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's
There's got to
pretty
be
good.
ones that roll around on the ground too that you can
Oh
get.
yeah. Yeah, they make all that stuff. They even make a they're making a new one now where he comes in as Prim, and it's like fully automated.
Wow.
It looks almost like the one in the show, and it's like it's I can't even tell you how much it is. So I got three of those ordered, and
Yeah. One for each floor of the house.
each
So you can
room,
roll.
Betty. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh man. Yeah, so So he brings her brother back to the base, and
Yeah, because
he gets
basically he's basically testing out the guy that sent him because he completes the mission, and he's like, "Oh yeah, here he is. This is
Yeah.
exactly what you wanted, right?" And then
Yeah.
it's basically revealed that like they just intended for the Mandalorian to get in the prison ship, and everybody
Yeah.
comes back with
Well, they
with
just
the Mandalorian ship. So it's
they
like,
just needed a ship basically because his ship is so old tech that like it wouldn't set off any of the new
right,
sensors or anything.
right.
So that's pretty cool.
But then
Uh,
my absolute like it's this scene where I love it, but it's also like one of the dumbest things to happen in the
yeah.
episode.
It's
He leaves.
yeah.
So we get it because he I think it's the guy that they shoot, right? It's the guy that they shoot. He has like the button thing he
Oh
presses.
yeah.
And that means like the New Republic is coming. It's like
It's
a like
it's
a the beacon.
it sets it on lockdown and it also sends in like a whole fleet of Republican ships.
So he does it and he put it on the brother character. He
Yeah,
somehow gets
he like sticks it in his pocket or something.
and so Mandalorian is leaving and then he's like, okay, kill him. The guy, the bearded guy is like, kill him.
Yeah.
And then as they're leaving, all of a sudden you see X-Wings come in and they're like, "Oh, there it is. We're getting it from the forward thing, and we believe it's inside the base." And then the Mandalorian like leaves, and they don't even care about the Mandalorian ship, which that was my
No.
first like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
There's somebody
And
fleeing the base, yes.
then the next thing is they're like, destroy everything. Just
Yeah,
immediately, like
it's a weird
don't
choice that
don't talk to anybody. They just bomb the open hangar for really no reason. It's
well,
really
whoever's in there, they stole a prisoner. So
yeah.
the Empire would have just reprisoned you. New Republic, they just blow you out of the sky. They're not messing around. We're not messing around anything. We know how
Hilarious.
rebellions start. So don't
Yeah.
you screw with us.
But I did have to write it. I had to write it here because where is it? It's here in my
Mhm.
um apparently that one of the characters' name is Trapper Wolf. I don't think
Oh,
it's ever stated in the show, but Trapper
oh
Wolf is
the
Dave Filoni. So
oh the pilot. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
pilot, one of the
Yes,
X-Wing pilots is
yes,
Dave.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's great, right?
So
He
I
gets
was
to be
like 100% going to give a nod and a thumbs up to Dave because
yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah, he makes great stuff. So
Yes. Yes, he do. Yeah, that's right. I do remember that. It's cool seeing the X-Wings again, that
oh yeah, no,
they're still using X-Wings. I love though.
I love that the juxtaposition is now the New Republic are showing up, and it's kind of like, oh crap, it's like the Empire. It's like the Empire is showing up, right? You're like, oh, we're done, we're screwed.
Yeah.
But it's
It's
like, but in
actually
reality, they're the good guys.
it seems like it's worse because like you said, they just blow you out of the sky. They just
That's
blow
kind
it
of seem
up.
like that.
Kind of crazy. Yep, yep, yep. So that's the end of that episode.
Yep.
Mando and the childs fly off into the sunset yet again.
Ba-bum.
And again, your background proves it, but like the
Yeah,
concept art for the episodes are just like it's
yeah.
so
This
great,
is
you
one of
know.
my favorite ones. Yeah, this is I just enjoy. This is
It's
where they
really
when they first get off his ship and they're like, "Oh
yeah.
no, what are we gonna do?" And he's just like, he just takes off
Yeah.
all the droids and stuff. Yeah, it was a great scene.
They all kind of like hide and like make
Yeah,
him do it and
yeah,
he sweep the leg. He comes in and he yeah, pretty
yeah,
great. Wow, you really are not a fan of droids, huh?
yeah.
Pretty good. So then, chapter 7, The Reckoning. Now
I yeah.
this is a good episode right here. These
So
next two are like
I'm not gonna
phenomenal. Yeah.
not gonna say my thought until the next episode, but
Okay.
I like this episode more than the next episode. But
Okay. This one's a little bit more exciting. Or
I
maybe not.
really super enjoyed because I didn't personally see it coming, which doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean like I'm. It just means because I didn't see it coming, therefore I enjoyed it more.
Hmm.
I didn't think. What is Carl Weathers' character's name? Is it Grief Karga?
Karga, yes.
It is.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't see him betraying the Mandalorian. I mean, I know it
No.
doesn't like happen, but
Right.
that's like the intention.
Hmm.
And I thought when he was like talking to him and showing up, I know he was like nervous about interacting with him, but like I never for once thought that the other two guys with him and him were like turning the Mandalorian, and I just didn't.
Yeah.
I thought they were all just like working together and like meeting up with the Empire people. Like he had what he was saying was true. Like he had bartered a deal with the Empire, like that X whatever the old Empire guys. So it was
Hmm.
like so when he turns on him, I was like, oh wow, oh
Yeah,
okay,
he gives a really strong explanation over the thing, like ever since you blew up the thing, the Mandalorians are gone and the town is awful. It's
right,
overrun by Empire and
right,
we
yeah.
just want our town back, basically. But
And it made sense. It made sense. And it also made sense. The thing that they set up really well is when he pulled like at the end of it must be four. No, it can't be. Whenever he leaves the city and he pulls out the thing and
oh,
he's not dead
he
because
got
he the
shot by the
thing.
Beskar.
It's like it
Yeah.
kind of made it seem like he had been like, oh, like Mandalorian left me alive, kind of a thing. Like he could have killed me,
Like
but
he
he didn't.
remembered that he
Right.
kept the Beskar in the yeah, yeah.
So I kind of thought that they had set this thing up where like they're honorable, like they're bad guys. Both of them are not like they're mercenaries, but like there's a thing there. There's a thing.
Mutual respect, yeah.
Yeah, right. So when he shows up to him, I was like, yeah, okay. Like, but
Yeah.
it was good
But
because it's like
Mando,
honestly, it's kind of like Lando and Han Solo. It's like
hmm
you think these guys have like a you know a dirty history together, but they're friends, and then like the betrayal happens, and you're like, oh wow, oh,
yeah.
okay, like
The
geez,
difference is Mando Lando went through with
true, yes, true.
it.
If only a little baby
It's
character
true.
had healed him. Yeah.
You got some new showing up here. You
Yeah.
old yeah. Um yeah, but so like even Mando knew like, hey, I'm not going back to what's the name of the planet? Car yeah, I don't know. But he's like I gotta get a crew before I go back there.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
So he stops and
Oh yeah.
gets
He
Cara
gets what?
Dune, Cara Dune,
Yeah. Which is
and
funny. Yeah.
then he goes and gets his old buddy. Um,
Oh
oh
yeah. He gets
wow,
the guy from the other
the
planet.
the
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ugnaught. What's his name?
His name is Biff Fortuna. His name
No,
is
it's like
Queel. Queel.
Queel. Yeah, but when he shows up to get Queel, Queel rebuilt the um assassin droid.
Oh wow. Yes. 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 Yes.
And he
That's
like
funny.
reprogrammed it and
Like a
retrained it to be
nanny.
like a care droid. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I forgot that that even happened.
It's
Yeah.
cool too because Queel and Dune kind of have this like interaction of like,
Yeah. Yeah. Find out.
how that side doesn't free people, so what did you do? And he's like, I worked my hands to the bone, but he gives this big
Yeah.
like and then he
Yes.
asks him to build a new like prim for the child. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, I'll show Cara Dune. This is how I earned my freedom. And he like builds this beautiful like
Yeah.
full metal thing.
Yeah. What's he call her? Like a drop trooper or something like that?
She was a drop trooper, yeah.
Yeah.
And he worked for the Empire. Well, he was a slave to the Empire. So
Yeah,
they have
yeah,
like different perspectives, like she thinks that, he just went along with it, but it was like, no, he was a slave. Like he had to work to earn his freedom.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah. It's
And then
pretty.
it's something like he claims that like he can claim the garbage from the shootout from the first episode because of some thing in the New Republic allows him to like
Oh yeah.
claim garbage basically, like he has garbage rights. So it's like,
Hmm.
oh
Yeah,
well, kind of.
basically. So he can go in to that
Right,
like place that they
right,
shot up and like take everything that's like
right.
left over. It's like some salvage law from.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, so it's cool seeing IG-11 again. Now he's like a caretaking droid. Mando
yeah.
doesn't trust him.
Not at all. No.
No. I think too the funny scene before they go see Queel, I think Cara Dune and Mando are on like the in the ship and they're
Uh-huh. Yeah.
talking. They're talking
Okay.
and you see like in the access port to the bridge basically. You see like the child's like head kind of like comes down the shaft with his ears
Okay.
and he's like looking around at them talking. And then he goes back up
Oh yes,
and
yes, yes.
she's like, should he be up there alone? And he's like, oh yeah, he's harmless. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh my God. And they like run up the stairs and the child's up there and he's got like the joystick and he's just
Yes.
and the whole ship is just oh man, it's really great. And then they
Yeah.
say and then that's when she says, oh, we need somebody to watch him. So
Yes.
that's when they go find Queel. Yeah.
Need somebody that they can trust to watch them. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just yeah, it's just such a
That was funny. I
funny
forgot
scene.
that
When
that
he
happened.
when he like when he like pokes his head like down and you can kind of see it in the background. It's such a funny, like subtle.
Yeah. He's
Pretty
checking to
great.
make sure that they're busy so he can go
Yeah.
goop around in the pilot in the cockpit.
It's great. Yeah, it's really great. Yep. And then they get their crew and they bring those wow, what are they called? Those the things that they ride.
Oh yeah, the gross little things. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring
I don't
those. Yeah, I can't remember what they're called.
blurgs.
Blurgs. That's it. Yeah. They bring their blurgs. And then
Yeah.
like you said, so they meet up with Karga and he's like, oh, you brought some friends. That's good. Yeah, I brought some friends as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Isn't
then
this
they
soon they're on the ship, back on the ship, and the Mandalorian and Kara are like arm wrestling,
oh
and the
yeah.
child like force chokes her.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
She thinks, yeah, he thinks that like she's hurting him. So he like force chokes her.
She's
And
like,
he's like,
"What?"
no, Kara's my friend. She's my friend. And
He's
yeah,
like,
that's
that's
pretty cool
fine.
too.
I'll kill her. That's fine. I'll kill her.
So this child, he uses the force, but he uses good and dark side of the force. He don't
Yeah.
care.
But it was pretty interesting
You can
because
see
he's
his
doing
little
the
face. He's
thing.
like, he's like, he's,
I just like when she's doing it and then she's like, and then Mandalorian's like looking at her. He's like, what? Like, what exactly is happening? And then he puts
yeah,
two and two together pretty
yeah.
quickly.
And he
He's
looks and
like,
just sees his hand.
yeah.
Mm.
She also kind of takes it pretty well too.
Yeah, yeah. But
Surprisingly.
Queel's on the ship too, and
Yeah.
he's like, oh, that's what you were telling me about. Like basically, he's
Oh,
like, oh,
yes. Yes. With the mud
he's like,
horn.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's kind of telling like, yeah, I've only heard stories basically of like the Jedi. I don't know if they even used The word
I
Jedi
don't think
exists.
I think there is one reference to it, but yeah.
It's kind of cool, and I think that is good. I think like we as the audience know what the Force users are. We don't need you to like explain it
Right.
over and over, you know? It's like making a Spider-Man movie and showing Uncle Ben getting shot. Like we don't need it
Every time. Yeah.
every movie.
Krypton exploding, Bruce Wayne's parents getting shot. Yeah, you're like, oh,
Yeah, they
I'm
love
not
it.
sure if I've ever seen any of these.
Oh, this explains a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I was thinking about it was the to have the child force choke is pretty interesting, like you're saying that I don't know if they're trying to set up that he's like a gray force user, but it was interesting to see him use essentially dark side powers.
Yeah. I think it's just because he's young and his
Inexperienced.
training wasn't complete basically.
That makes sense. This was very
But it
fascinating.
is. It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
Because you would think like as if he was purely what do they call it? Light side,
Yeah.
that um he would like throw a box or something at her head, or he would do something.
Yeah.
Or like make her lose, like use the force to push her hand over.
Push your hand. Yeah.
Right. But instead he
That's true.
chokes her like
Yeah.
shit up her.
Nah.
So it's like
No, it's more efficient to just stop the breathing. Yeah, that's pretty good. So then everybody, they camp. They set up that camp that night in the
yeah,
desert, and they get
yep.
attacked by those crazy bat things.
Yeah, after they meet up with grief, yeah.
Yeah. And this made me laugh because we were talking about in TOS, the episode with the Mambu,
Oh
the
yeah, okay. Yeah.
so he's this giant, strong gorilla alien with a horn, but also his bite is poisonous because why wouldn't it be?
Oh yes.
So this
That's
episode
like
reminded me of that because they got these giant bats that can pick up like full-size blurgs and fly
yeah,
off. Also, they're poisonous.
and they're poisonous. Yeah.
Because why wouldn't they be?
It would be like showing the Mugatu and it's like, oh man, it's terrible. It's super strong, it's poisonous, and it flies. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Well,
Right.
yeah. Like it needs
Like, why
anything
are we
more.
camping in this general area? Like, why?
But this is
Yeah, but
it's pretty
it's a
cool
great scene.
because they're all shooting at him and
Yeah. Yeah, it's
she's got
great
her
because
heavy
like
cannon. Yeah.
he gets like it happens. They do a really good way of a good thing of like truly setting up the kind of like terror of it because they just show up kind of suddenly and they take the blurg and you're like, "Oh, okay."
Oh yeah.
And then they kind of fly away and you're like and it's quiet for a second and they're like, "Okay." And then they just immediately come right back and now they're attacking like all of them and you're like, "Oh, okay." Like
Yeah.
it's not just like, oh, they're taking the rides and now they have to walk. Because that's what I thought was happening. Like, oh, okay, animals are killing the other animals. So now it's going to take double the time for them to get to meet up with the people.
Yeah.
And like, now they're going to get late or they're not going to be able to make it there. And then there was like, oh, no, immediately it's not that. These animals are attacking everybody. I was like, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah, and Quill seems like pretty upset by it too, like genuinely.
Yeah, yeah.
Leave her alone. Yeah, but yeah, so Karga gets like scratched, like a deep scratch, and they're like, "Oh, the poison's heading in." But this is the first time that I learned what the canisters on like the back of like stormtroopers and like troopers in general are.
Oh, okay.
So the stormtroopers have like their belts, but
Yeah.
then they have like that long
Yeah, they have
tube.
like that thermos thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was always like, "That's cool," but like I don't know what it is.
I always thought it was like
It's
their
a med
water.
pack.
Oh, it's a med pack.
She takes hers off. She pulls hers off and opens it. And she's like, "I only have one med pack." And she like starts wrapping him.
Oh, I always
And I
thought it
was
was
like,
like rations, but yeah, makes
"Yeah,
sense. It's a med pack.
yeah."
Cool.
I thought that
That is
was
cool. No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't put those two
yeah.
together.
Never knew that that's what that was. And then they show his arm and they're like, oh, the poison's setting in, and you can see like the veins all go
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
like ah. And then the child starts to come closer, and they're gonna and like you this
Yes.
is a cool callback to but it's a
Yes.
cool callback to like the first episode when he was trying to like heal the Mandalorian.
Yes, yes,
And he
yes,
would
yes.
like picked him up and put him back in his thing.
Yes.
And he was about to do the same thing, but Queel's like, "Oh no, wait, just wait, just see what he's doing." And he like puts
But
his hand on his arm.
don't you remember?
Yeah,
Grieve? He's gonna eat me. Don't let him eat me. He's like freaking out. He thinks this.
doesn't that yet?
He's like, no, I don't. I don't know. He's like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna. I know what's gonna.
That's right. He's gonna eat me. And then he puts his little like clawed fingers like into the
Yeah.
cut, and he's like, ah. Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
but that sealed the deal. That couldn't turn him in now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because then
yeah.
like
So
later,
like,
right? This is like after they walk, he ends up. He shoots them. He shoots like the two guys.
yeah, yeah. They
And
get
then
to
he
that
like,
ridge,
yeah.
and he's like, blam blam, and he like shoots them both, and he's like, now
Yeah.
listen, hold on, hold on. Like the plan was to blow your brains out,
Right. And have a great dance over your corpse.
but that's not the plan anymore. So listen, there's like 300 troopers.
Right. Yeah. Because the whole time, that's later. That's later when she's like, you said there would be six or
Yeah,
more or
handful.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. No, it was great because I didn't see this coming. I was like, oh.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm trying to remember what happens after they go into the city and he takes both of them to the bar again.
Yeah.
And
They want to use the child as bait to have the guy come out.
oh yes, 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 yes. Yeah, so they take the prim in closed up
Right.
and they go and they see the guy from the first episode. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
His name
want I want to
yeah.
see the baby.
I want to see the baby. Yeah.
No, like, oh no, he's sleeping. Like, we will
So
be extra quiet. I
it's
want
fine.
to see the baby.
It's okay. We know how to be quiet. It's okay.
We
This
will
is the
all
only
be
thing
quiet.
I didn't like about this episode. And maybe it's just my misunderstanding of it, but it just like it felt I don't know, it felt kind of strange. So
Okay.
they send Quill and the child back to the ship
Yeah.
and they take the fake thing, the pram to
Yes.
the city. He's on the blurg and he's going.
Yeah.
Now, in from my understanding, they go, they camp, the things attack them, and then they walk more, right?
Yep.
So, like, a long time passes.
Yeah.
Like, to walk to where they land to where the city is, like, they're quite a distance away. And I get maybe they just camped overnight because it's dangerous to walk in the dark. But it just felt like they were so much farther away than they were. So when
Yeah.
he's like riding back to the thing, and then the speeder bike guys like go after him, it feels
Yeah.
like one of those things that like they shouldn't be able to catch up to him, sadly kill him,
Yeah.
and then turn around and come back to the city like within minutes.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
hours aren't passing in wherever.
speeder speeder bikes are like very, very fast.
Okay.
I will say they're like super, super fast. And um, yeah, the blurg is not like super
No, I
fast, but
know.
like
Yeah.
But yeah, it took them like basically a full day because they get there late, they camp out, and then
Right.
they walk the distance. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I just
Yeah,
felt like,
it's one of those things where it's you
yeah,
just kind of accept that that's how I know that the speeder bikes on the open sand like that, it's just
yeah,
wide open, you know?
true. Just funny. It was just one of those things that I was like, doesn't feel like the time stretches like match up.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, but they go in there and he wants to see the baby.
Yeah. And then he gets a call, like a
Yes.
hollow call or whatever it is. And he's like, "Oh, yes, Moff Gideon, yes, I have acquired the baby."
He's like,
And
well,
he's
did
like,
you
"Are
actually
you
look?
sure about that?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you better check again." And
He's like,
then
yes, he's sleeping. Are you sure about that? Yeah.
yeah, then they just like eradicate the bar,
Yeah.
just blow it up. And it's
Yep.
like, "Oh, okay."
They kill literally everybody in there except for the three of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Or
because
four.
they
Is it four of them? No, three of them. Yeah.
three of them because they laid on the ground.
Yeah.
Everybody else was just like,
It's not. Are those death troopers
"What?
shooting at us?
Are those black troopers?" What? Did you guys know we had death troopers here? And it's like, oh,
Ah. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty great. I think
But
I don't. Do we see Moff Gideon in this episode? Yeah, I think so.
yes, he comes out of the TIE fighter
The TIE
or
fighter lands. It lands.
then he
I've
shows
never
up
seen
and he
anybody. Have you ever seen anybody get out of a TIE fighter before?
no,
No.
no, which was cool.
I thought that
Yeah,
was
and he
very interesting.
lands. And then I want to say it's this scene. It might be the next episode where he like
It's
um
definitely the next episode where he talks to them.
okay. So yeah, okay. So he wants the child basically.
I don't even think they set up the E-web until the next episode, but
No, yeah, next
you see
episode.
him like getting out of the TIE fighter and like walking up into the group there.
I think he tells him he wants the
I
kid
think
and
you have something I want.
right.
Or you have something that doesn't belong to you or something. Yeah.
And I think the last bit we see is basically that Quill is dead. Queel
Quill,
is dead. And
Quill.
and then that they take the speeder bike guys take the child.
Yeah, and they don't show him being dead. That you just see
Yeah,
like
I'm pretty sure they show him like laying on the ground and
laying
with
on the ground. Yeah. And then you see the child in the bag. And the
right.
speeder bike kind of like slides over and just goes, like picks it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they, we'll see in the next episode, but that was one lucky shot, I'll tell you that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know this is a bummer because I was hoping, when we first watched this, I was like, well, he can't be dead.
Yeah, there's no way,
He,
but
he got shot, but he's fine.
yeah, this Star Wars stretch is very much like other Star Wars stretches where they can like they introduce anybody that they want and it's like it's fine because they'll probably die.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bummer. Yeah, so then the season one finale, chapter 8, Redemption.
Yeah.
I think it picks up with the two bike troopers. They
Yeah,
go
they
back to
tell
like the outside of the city and like wait for instructions, basically.
yeah, they basically tell um they're sitting there talking and they want like the child keeps making noises and they punch him.
Yeah, he punches
Yeah.
because we want you to hate these guys immediately, you know.
Right, 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 right. Well, even more so, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, even
Like,
after they shot Quill. But
and
it's
they're
funny
waiting.
because they're waiting for instructions
Right,
and they're like, hey, so we have this thing. What do you want us to do? And they're like, well, just hold off. I don't know the orders yet. Moff Gideon just killed like everybody.
right,
And
right.
they're like, oh, okay. And then
Yeah.
the other guy's like, well, we should look at and you look at that thing. And he's like, did you not
Oh,
just hear what he said? He just said Moff Gideon just gunned down like all of his guys. And you want
yeah.
to, I'm not, I'm
He's
not
like,
touching.
I mean, maybe it got hurt though. Maybe it's like
Yeah,
hurt.
you hit it pretty hard.
Yeah. Yes.
He's like, you just want to look at it.
It's like, no, no, no. Just
And then they
open.
take out, yeah. But before that too, like they take out, he takes out his blaster and he's like, blam, blam. He's trying to shoot
Oh,
that can,
yes,
and
yes,
they're just like missing it wildly. And then he shakes the gun, and you can hear the thing like rattle around inside it. And he's
yes.
like, huh. Like either of them can hit the can. It's like such a funny.
That's really funny.
That's so stupid. But then like when they finally like open the bag, you see the child in there, and he like pokes his head, and then like
Yeah,
bites
yeah.
his finger, and then he like punches it again. Like,
Yes, 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 yes.
pretty great stuff. But then IG shows up.
Oh yeah, remember what he says though? They say he asks they calm back in and
Hmm.
they're like, "Hey." They're like, "So is there an update about like when we're coming?" And they're like, "Hey, so an officer just interrupted Moff Gideon and he killed him. So like we're gonna wait on like talking."
Yeah, why don't you wait to hear from us at this
Yeah.
point? It's like
Really funny.
I like how the running joke has always been like, what do they want with this thing? And it's like, I don't know, maybe he wants to eat it. I don't get paid to ask questions. Like, why does everybody want to eat it?
I don't know. They like
Because
eating things.
that's what Karga says. He's like, I don't know if he wants to I don't know if he wants to eat it, stuff it, or mount it on his wall. Like,
But
what
then
the
yeah, then
fuck?
IG-11 shows up and he's like, "Hello, I am the nanny," or whatever he says.
Yeah, he basically asks him to like hand over, and they're like,
Yeah.
no. And he's like, all right, wait, you have like one more chance. And they're like, no. And he like grabs his arm and like, breaks it. And then the
Yes.
other guy, he like picks the other guy up and like crashes him through the speeder bike into the dirt.
Yes. Yes.
And he
Yep.
picks up the child and he's like, I'm sorry you had to see that. And he like puts the backpack on.
And just drives into the
Pretty great. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
they put this is where then they get to this, you go back to the city, the cantina, and they put the e-web up,
Hmm. And
and then
he says them all by name too.
he does.
He says Cara Dune, the drop trooper, and then he says Din Djarin, the Mandalorian.
Yep.
This is the first time we get to see his name or hear his name. And this is when he puts it, he's like, well, that has to be Moff Gideon because Moff Gideon was in charge of like um I think the battle droid attack on his planet as a child. No. No, I think Moff Gideon was in charge of the decimation of Mandalore.
He is the one.
Because that's how
He
he has the
lived
records.
he lived through the siege of Mandalore and the Night of a Thousand
The Night of
Tears.
a Thousand Tears.
Yes.
Right. And that's how he knows his name because he would have the complete like historical record
Right.
from Mandalore of everybody's name and stuff.
And he also says that Kara is an Alder, like the survivor of Alderaan,
Yeah.
which was crazy. That like
Yeah, right. So she came from Alderaan to join the rebellion.
right.
That's cool.
But that means that she joined prior to episode 4 because they blow up.
Hmm.
That's the first thing they blow up in the movie is Princess Leia's like home world.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of cool. She's such a great character. It's such a bummer what Disney did to her, but
Wow, yeah,
because I would have loved to seen more of her doing
yeah,
stuff.
she's fun.
Even this episode when she like jumps on top of like the bar table and she's just like shooting the machine gun thing, and so it's pretty great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like her tattoo too, like the
Yes,
rebel stripes.
yeah,
It's pretty
it's
cool.
cool.
Doesn't she have like the tattoo? Isn't it like the rebel thing on? Maybe not.
Maybe I don't remember. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then basically they propose to negotiate because Grief is like trying to work out some things, and he gives
What
them
are
until
you proposing?
and he gives them until nightfall to consider his
Yeah,
offer.
how funny is that? He's like, yeah, we'll give you like 4 or 5 hours to talk
Yeah,
about it and figure it
yeah.
out. You know?
We'll just hang out here.
Yeah, we'll just wait. Even to the point where like when they start blasting,
Yeah.
he doesn't even he shows up like at the end of it. Like where was he? Like around the corner doing something?
Right. I don't know. But I think this is where the Mandalorian like reveals that this guy is like a officer that supposedly should have been executed for war crimes, like
Hmm.
from a while ago.
He wasn't.
No.
I think too, this is the part where IG shows up on the speeder bike.
Yeah, because they all. I think before that, you learned that like the Mandalorian wasn't. He's not somebody raised on Mandalore. He's like
Oh,
it's just a creed, and
he's a foundling. Yeah.
yeah, he's a foundling.
They
But
saved him from that planet and raised him.
right, but he basically like Grief is basically like he doesn't like it shows that like they don't know anything about Mandalorians. He's like, he's like, no, I'm just a foundling. Like, I'm not somebody who's from the planet, kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
And the only record of his name is there on Mandalore, like you said. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Moff Gideon is an Imperial Security Bureau officer
Hmm.
in the Great Purge of Mandalore.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, IG-11 shows up. Yeah.
You have that scene where he's on the speeder bike flying through the
Yes.
city, shooting troopers and those Jawas are standing there. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. The thing that was really crazy was like he's going and he's like riding and he's just like turning around and the speeder bike's still going and he's
Oh
just like
yeah,
blah, 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 blah.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the part too where he's blasting through the city and then it zooms in on the child and he's laughing.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
pretty great. And then he slides into town. He like jumps off, and like you said, the whole top of his body like spins. And he's like, choo, 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 choo.
Yeah. And then it's basically they take advantage of this and because I think he propels the speeder bike like
Hmm.
into them and it like blows up and they're like, okay, like I guess we're doing this now, basically.
Yeah, I think this is too. Like they're all like shooting outside of the bar, and then Karga like just goes over and he starts pouring like spotchka, like shots of spotchka.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
I think it might have been the whole time, honestly. Even when he was talking to
Oh,
Moff Gideon, he was
probably.
like, he was, like pouring on. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is where they all get into the thing, and she shoots at a whole bunch of them, and then he comes outside and he's about to shoot Moff, and then Moff shoots like
Oh,
something and
that
it
like,
blows up.
yeah,
Yeah,
some generator thing, blows him up. Blam. And she drags him in.
Yeah, because right, doesn't the Mando, he gets on the E-web thing and he's like and he's like shooting all the
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he gets dragged in
They go back into the
and
cantina. Yeah.
yeah. And IG's looking for like an exit to the sewers because Mando says that there's a whole network, like that's where the
Yeah.
Mandalorians used to live. So if they can get in there from the bar, he finds like that access portal and he's
Yeah.
cutting it open.
Yeah.
And the Mando's like, just go without me. Just take the child. He's like, I'm
Just do
dead.
it.
I'm dead already. It's like,
Yeah.
holy crap. Um,
He
yeah,
tells
and
them to
then they,
leave, and
yeah.
then the incinerator troops come in to like
Oh yeah,
they're like
and the
literally
child's just
throw.
like,
Yeah.
it's all shot in like slow motion. He's just like,
Yeah.
and he just like blasts it back out. That's so
Yeah.
great. It's such a great like he's got this wall of flame.
Yes.
And they, that's the other thing about the show is like this could be one of those things where it's like a plot device, like a get out of jail free
Oh,
card, basically.
yeah, yeah,
But they
yeah, yeah.
use it sparingly enough where
Yes.
it's not like, oh well,
And
we'll
also
just
he like constantly passes out after he uses it. So he can't be like endlessly helpful. You know what I mean?
yeah, he runs out of mana.
Right. Yes, you're right. Yeah. His force bar, like the force bar goes down,
And
depletes.
it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, come on, I gotta do double jump, double jump.
like your force bar won't refill if you're blocking.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's cool though. It's cool how they use it for specific things. I really appreciate that. Like it's not just they don't just use it all the time.
Right, right. Yeah, and then we had this kind of a really cool scene that I didn't think was gonna happen this early in the show.
Hmm.
I thought like it was like a season 2 or 3 thing where he's like, okay, robot, kill me. And he's like, no, I'm not going to kill you. And he's like, but that's what you do. You're a killer. And he's like, no. He's like, just take your helmet off and I'll take care of you. And he's like, I can't take my helmet off. No living thing can see it. And he's like, I'm not a living thing. And then
And he
he,
goes to like lift it, and he like puts the gun like,
yeah,
and then like doesn't he just lets him do it.
yeah.
And then you see Pedro Pascal's beautiful tan face,
He's a
his
little.
little mustache.
I like that he's a little sweaty and
Oh,
bloody.
he's
I
sweaty
like
and bloody for sure. Yeah.
I like that he was kind of gross when the helmet came off. He wasn't like pristine with like a little blood in his nose, like kind of a thing. Like, oh yeah, it's
No,
just
he
like,
got. I think what happened is he like bashes the back of his head into his helmet,
yeah,
basically. Yeah,
yes.
that's what she says. Yeah, kiss what Kara says. She's like, "You're fine. You just got your bell rung."
Then he sprays that back the thing on him.
Yeah, the back to spray. So that's a cool.
It
They
was
have
cool.
back to spray.
And then this was the thing you referenced in one of our Star Trek movies where you're like, or maybe it was the episode, one of the Star Trek episodes where you're like,
Mm.
is your central processing unit?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You mean my brain? That was a joke.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just love those kind of interactions for whatever reason. I find them to be so like funny.
Yeah, they're good.
Oh
Yeah, and he
man.
starts to feel better. It was pretty cool. I was like, oh, cool. Okay, Bacta's like really great. And
Yeah. Imagine how
also
good you feel
explains
if you're in
like,
a tank of it.
yeah, as I say, explains why Luke is like super good after being in the tank after getting bashed around.
Well, he's just got to wear his diaper and lay in there.
And then it's like immediately depressing scene because they're all walking down the tunnel and they're
Oh,
lost.
yeah, it's real
He
bad.
shows up with IG, Mando shows up, And he's like, I think I'm okay. And then they round the thing, and there's just like a mound of Mandalorian helmets. You're just like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cool.
He starts questioning Karga about it too. Like, did you do that? Did
Right.
you know about this?
And he's like, no, it's the Imperial forces like went through and killed everybody basically. Once they revealed themselves, like they just went and
Yeah.
found them and just murdered them.
Yeah.
But not the armor.
Nope. She comes around the
She's,
corner.
she's still fine.
She's got to melt down all the helmets into ingots, you know.
Yep.
It's cool. It's cool seeing her again. I
Yep.
appreciate that she's down there. Like that's just her job. Everybody else has left,
So
but she's not.
one of the spoilers I've had for the show, but I didn't know when it
Okay.
was I I mean years ago, I watched a clip of this on YouTube and it was her taking on stormtroopers,
Oh,
the armorer. And I was just like, "Oh, that's a cool sequence." And then when they're like leaving the area, like after they talk to each other and that
freeze.
yeah, I think he explains to her like what the child is or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the one that
Yeah.
saved me from the mud horn and everything.
Yeah. Then you are a clan of two.
Yes. But I think this is where they talk about the Jedi. They
And this
they
is kind of
reference
when you
the
realize that this part of the Mandalorian group that he's a part of is well, you should know already because they show when they save him, they're all wearing like
Jedi.
the night watch. But she says that they were not friends of the
Yep.
Jedi, which you know,
Right.
Bo-Katan was, but the
Right.
Vizslas were not friends of the Jedi.
Right. 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 Exactly.
Um, because Obi-Wan's crush or whatever she was that was the leader of Mandalore was like she wanted peace for Mandalore, and the Night's Watch was a sect that took off that they wanted
Right.
to be like the warrior clan that they were.
Yeah.
So like that side of Mandalore was like not they were against the whatever
Yeah. I know what you mean.
the
Yeah.
I forget the two party the not the the Senate and the
Yeah. It's like the
separatists.
the separatists and I think it's just the Republic.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. But like now it's kind of like his mission now is to like find the child's like family or
He's,
home or
it made me laugh because he's like, "Are you honestly telling me to search the galaxy for enemy sorcerers?" And she's like, "This is the way." And
yeah.
he's just like, "All right."
Yeah. Enemy sorcerers that haven't existed in like 100 years basically.
Yeah. And she
Yeah.
gives him the jetpack.
She makes the jetpack. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah.
It's cool. And she forges the Mudhorn signet on his
Yeah.
shoulder plate, which is cool.
It is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so then she fights the stormtroopers after they leave, which is pretty great. She beats them with like her forging hammer. It's fantastic.
Pushes one into the incinerator thing and he like
Yeah.
instantly melts.
Yeah. The thing's probably like hotter than
I
the
mean, it's melting.
sun.
Yeah, it's melting metal. So it's like, he
Best
literally
part is
goes like,
like
no. And it's just like silence. He's just like, just gets sucked in. Yeah.
yeah, it's real bad. Oh man. Yeah, and
It's the
then they
famous lava river.
the famous lava river, yeah.
I was like,
Know it well.
why is this like, oh, this is a sewers that goes to the lava river? I'm like, yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Also, there's like a lava boat that doesn't melt, and
Yeah.
it's ran by a R2 unit that's
Yeah.
like
Oh
encased
man.
in magma. Yeah, it's
Just
fantastic.
made me laugh. I was like, okay, I guess I'm just going with it. Like it was so random.
It is kind of random. Yeah,
It's super random.
I don't know why that's in the sewers and why they
Because
would
they
be
right,
there.
because they made the sewers seem like it was an excellent spot for the Mandalorians to like hide and all this stuff, and then just a few feet down the thing, it's like, well, yeah, here's this huge ferry where like obviously all these guys go up and down the lava river. I was just like, this doesn't make any sense.
Seems like nobody's used it in a while though, because like you said, he was all
Yeah,
kind of like crusted in place and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
But I just like it's such a funny concept that like it's a droid, but it's like a gondola droid, and it says his
Yes. Die, die.
it's like
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
And Mando uses his no, or does IG use like his heat sensors and sees that like there's a bunch of troopers on the outside of the
I think it's the Mando.
cave.
He has like a sensor in his helmet,
Yeah,
and then
it's
she
pretty.
shoots him because the robot's not stopping.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're just like free floating down the lava river.
Yeah, and then IG-11 is like, I'll take care of it.
Yeah,
And he
and now Mando likes droids now.
and then he Dante peeks it. He Dante peeks it all the way through the.
He finally got to initiate self-destruct mode though.
It's okay. It's okay. Grandma, grandma.
Hmm.
You remember that
Hi
terrible scene from
guys.
Dante's
Yeah,
Peak?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's great. Oh man, I like his reasoning though, because the Mando's like, well,
Yeah.
your primary function is to take care of the child, and he's like, yes, but if I don't do this, then the child will certainly be captured.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Blows up.
Absolutely just
Blam. Yeah.
then they escape and then the TIE fighter, which reminded me of season one of Andor.
Oh yeah, when it flies through the canyon.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh cool. But
Pretty
this did it
good.
first. But this did it first. So
Technically, yeah, yeah, it did.
yeah.
Yeah, so take that, Andor.
He uses his jetpack, he gets onto the TIE fighter. Then we have another perfect,
No.
beautiful scene where, yeah, yeah, where it's like Gus Fring when the guy's ringing the bell and he puts it together like he's gonna blow up. No, yeah, it was like the same thing
Hmm.
when he's on top of the TIE fighter and he's like, no, no, it's like trying not to crash. Yeah, it was really funny.
It's pretty great. It's a good thing they ran into the armor because he got reloaded on all his like
Yep, everything.
magnet mines and everything,
Yeah,
But yeah,
and
he
they're like blows him up.
blows up the one wing. That's a pretty good way to take down a TIE fighter. It's pretty good. But yeah, this was the part I said earlier where he's like, do the magic hand thing. It's just like, ah.
Yeah. And then they leave Grief here to stay because he likes it here. And
I think she stays too, technically, Kara.
I don't remember.
I think she stays. She's like,
Maybe,
yeah,
okay.
somebody's got to watch, make sure that this, you know, then
They go back to his
Grogu,
ship.
yeah,
Yeah. And then
they
they
fly
bury,
off.
they bury Quill, right?
Yeah,
Quill.
just out there in the middle of the sand where he would have wanted to be.
Perfect.
I wouldn't want to like take him back to his, planet, his farm or anything. So,
And then he gives the child the necklace.
oh yeah, the little mythosaur necklace.
Yes. Okay.
Because he gave that to Kara and said like take
Oh,
him and
yes.
when you find the
Yes.
Mandalorians, like
That's
show them this, they'll know that, that's like your way of proving that you're, helping or part of, the clan or whatever. So then he
so
gives the child that necklace.
So
Yeah.
obviously the thing that like
And
made the
then
internet explode. I know that this is what made the internet explode. But I was just
mhm.
like not really like it didn't really captivate me as much as it did. And I think it's just because like I'm slowly getting back into Star Wars, like being kind of like yay Star Wars kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Because you and I had that kind of like down period after we watched
Uh-huh.
Obi-Wan. Like Obi-Wan was fun, but then we were just kind of like,
It didn't
uh,
do what Marvel did for us, but
no,
yeah,
no, no.
it was real close. Real close.
But when he cuts out the TIE fighter with the dark saber,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's cool. I'm not saying it's not cool, but I just was like, oh, I wasn't really like, oh, wow. I was just like, oh, okay. Like,
You make me sick. You make me sick. When I saw this scene in 2019, I
well,
was like,
yes.
are you kidding?
Yeah.
Because it's like now it's all this stuff from Clone Wars and Rebels like coming into live action. And it's
Yes.
like this the ramifications of Moff Gideon having the Darksaber sets up like how did Bo-Katan lose it? Like who
Right.
rules Mandalore? Like
Right.
all this stuff. Like how did he get it, you know?
It makes sense. Like, I don't disagree that it's not interesting. I just was like, I just remember when it ended, I was like, oh, that's really how this season ends with him just standing there with it. I was like, oh, okay. It
It's like
just didn't grab me.
it's like the end of Endgame when Thanos snaps and everybody
Mm,
disappears. It's the same thing for Star Wars fans. It's
yeah.
like
I
how does
got
he
you.
have the dark saber?
And you know what's really funny? As I
Yeah.
felt the same way when he snapped everybody away.
You're like, oh, probably fix this in the next one.
Yep. It's pretty much exactly what I left. I
Oh,
literally walked out of Infinity
so
War and I was
basically
like,
Mando's gonna take the dark saber back and it's gonna be part of the Mandalorians again. Oh, that's so interesting.
yeah, I was an egregious little monster when I came out of Infinity War and I said, so we just watched a 2.5 trailer for the next movie. Because I wanted why I didn't like it
How
at the
dare
time.
you?
At the time, I didn't like it because I wanted all of the deaths, any deaths that happen in this movie to be mean something, to be
Yeah.
meaning.
But
But
Spider-Man
they
didn't feel too
obviously,
good. So
but they obviously make it good in the next one. But anyways,
I
um,
like it. I think it's great. I think any movie where you get to see the villain win
oh
is
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
wow, that's not, I wasn't expecting that. It's like watching a sports movie and they lose the tournament or the championship.
yeah,
It's
yeah. No, it's good. I don't, like I said, I had no beef with it. It just was funny. I just know that like I knew when at the end and it showed the dark saber and I was like, and I had this feeling of like, that's cool. I knew I was like way in the minority of people like not I was not reacting to it the way I should be reacting to it.
yeah, that's fine. You can be wrong. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine.
We're all wrong. You know, a
Yeah.
broken clock is wrong a few times a day, you know.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like Search for Spock, right? You could be wrong. It's fine.
Search for Spock is the best movie. Are you kidding me? They find him, they search for him, and they find him in the same movie. I mean, come on.
Too funny.
Yeah,
But yeah, that effectively ends season one.
it does.
And this, I was thinking about it after we talked about it a week or two ago, whatever, whenever, where you were like, here we are watching Star Trek Next Generation, and you have to sit through 25 episodes, and
Yeah,
here it's 8 episodes, and it's
yeah.
like you don't. It's like why can't good shows like interesting shows like Mandalorian be 25 and
Hmm.
seasons of like season one of Star Trek Next Generation be like 8 episodes because they didn't have that many great ideas.
Well, some people are just better at telling stories, you
Sure.
know. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I definitely prefer like a shorter season if they all can be
Yeah.
like good. If they all can be like tight knit.
I get why it's so fast paced and like you're saying, like don't linger on stuff too long because it could get
mm,
bogged down pretty quickly.
yeah.
Because it also has to consistently feel like, at least at this point in the show, it has to feel like the Mandalorian may have sympathy or I don't know, just something has some sort of feelings for the child, but like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, he's a bounty hunter who doesn't care about this stuff, and like clearly this child thing is like way he's like something else is happening with him.
Mm,
So it makes sense to not like it would be terrible for this to be like a 20 something episode season and it's like it's him and the child every single episode. It's like
mhm.
he constantly would be trying to get rid of it, which is what he's doing until the
Yeah.
very end when the armorer's like, nope, deal with it.
Yep.
So to have like an additional 10 episodes of him doing random adventures and like
hmm And
he's
just every
hanging out with
episode being
the
like, I
child.
can't do this stuff with the
Right.
child.
It's like, yeah, it would be overkill.
Yeah. Yeah, it's setting up the lone samurai finding a child that has to
Right.
take care of the
Exactly.
child because he's a good person. Yeah.
Exactly.
But now his mission is to find some Jedis,
And some ancient sorcerers.
which is cool. There's only a handful around in this time period, so
Yeah.
you got
Well,
Ezra. Who knows
yep.
where Ezra is?
Luke
Luke is around, yeah.
and
Ahsoka's around.
yep.
Cal Kestis is out there somewhere, unless they kill him off in the third game that they're making right now. And I
Yeah.
want I want a live action like if Cal Kestis showed up like live action in this of all shows would be like why?
Hmm.
It'd be so great.
Yeah. Well, apparently we have the movie to look forward to, so
Yeah, so season 5 is technically the movie. Season 4.
yeah.
Season 4 is like a movie now. So that'll be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be
So
great. Season 2 is really good. I'm excited for you to get to see season 2.
yeah. And that's what we're gonna cover next.
That's what we'll be talking about next time. Season 2, then Book of Boba Fett, then Ahsoka, then season 3. So
Sounds good.
I think it's that order. I think it's literally the order that they've premiered in.
Yeah. I think it's
That's-
like season two, Book of Boba Fett. I think season three and then Ahsoka, but maybe not. I don't know. But we'll see.
I think
You're probably
so.
right on whatever.
Mhm.
So
No, I think that's right. That sounds right. It's a weird concept, right? Releasing media in the correct
yeah.
timeline. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And this is gonna be the first season that was affected by the or the next season. One of those seasons is gonna be affected by the pandemic, right? Like the
So this was
finale ended,
2019. So the next season would have been 2020. Yeah. They would have
which
been filming in 2020. Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Because it released on October 30th of 2020.
But it's
So
hard to know if like they were filming. Yeah.
well
You'd,
within the pandemic.
you'd have to see when they actually were filming it though. So
Yeah. It would have definitely rolled into it for sure.
yeah. Maybe at the end, maybe the last couple
Yeah.
episodes. Yeah.
And then season 3 aired in 23. So
Yeah, last year, like last spring, which is crazy to me.
it's weird. It doesn't feel like it was last spring.
Nope. No, it does not. But yeah, next time we'll watch the first four. We'll watch The Marshal to The Siege.
Mm. Oh, yeah. It's been a
That'll
while
be
since
our-
I've seen season 2. Yeah, these are. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, and we'll try not to watch and talk about like a month and a half between
Maybe I'll
time.
never even release these. Maybe I'll never even see
Ever.
them.
Just you and I talking about it.
I keep these for me. These are for me.
There'll be just videos on loop in the game room. You're like,
Wait,
oh,
what
I
are these?
never saw these, Caleb. Go up on your
I
channel.
don't release these. Mm-mm.
I have
Nope.
like a whole Star Wars playlist, but these don't go in it.
These are all privated. Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining, and we will see you next time for season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Do all the fun things.
Yeah, do it all. I don't care.
He cares. He cares. Don't listen to him. He cares.
Who is this little green dude peeking out with eyes so wide? Who's under that shiny helmet with secrets that he hides? Why does he hate robots in this galaxy so wild? Bounty hunter turned into a dad, now softened by this child. Mandalorian on a mission, got a heart filled with ambition. Little green friend by his side, in the stars they do confide. From deserts to icy lands, they travel hand in hand. Enemies they won't withstand, together they take a stand. Join Caleb and Will for every episode of Mando, adventures to unravel.